Today I'm with Emmy and Rocky, a Committed couple from the US. They've been living in Lviv for over a year. I think it's almost
A year and a half.
18 months or something. So they've been living here in Lviv and they use some services that will be useful for new people in Lviv and probably in Ukraine. So could you share your advices?
Well, there's a couple of things that we found very useful. So, first of all, get yourself a new smartphone before you come over, or get one here. But there are so many really useful apps that we've found, and the number one would be a translation app. And there are some that, like Google Translate, where you can speak and it'll write it out in Ukrainian, or you can have a Ukrainian speak into it and you can read it in English. And this will help you learn the language.
As well as you can take a picture of like a
Mhm.
menu or instructions on something,
Or if
and
you're
it'll
in the
translate it for
supermarket,
you.
you can read a label that
Right.
you might be unfamiliar with.
So translate app, and then of course there's for getting around. Bolt and Uklon are the two biggest ones.
Which is like Uber in the United States, but Bolt we've had really good.
And then Glovo is you can order groceries, food. I think
Delivery.
even right, and they will deliver it by bike, scooter, what have you, and
There's also apps that you can find depending on exactly where you're living, but here in Lviv, so you can navigate the public transportation systems. There's also one for locating if you have specific medical needs, like a prescription drug,
Okay.
you can find it and it will tell you what pharmacy has it, what apteka you can go
What's
to.
What's the name of this?
tabletka.ua.
Okay.
And there's for the train, there's an app for that, and it's easier than being online if you just get the app. And then there's apps that let you know if the air alarms, if it's turning on or turning off, and a different one that shows you kind of what the threats are, what's been happening in Ukraine, so you can.
It's good to stay informed.
And then the other
It's good
thing
to
is
stay
once you get here, there's volunteer sites that you can become a part of, chat groups, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal. There's
And also
different
just for-
volunteer groups.
And just for
to meet.
expats as well, you know,
Mhm.
because you might not be in a volunteer
Volunteer, right.
situation, but there's groups for expats and from all over the world.
And
And
Ukrainian
Ukrainians,
learners.
yeah.
Maybe you could recommend some specific websites or pages or something. Or
Well,
you could-
Lviv expats on Facebook.
Yes, Lviv Friends and Expats, I think, is a
Right.
good one. And then there's a number of groups on Telegram
Really?
that we get information through, including we follow President Zelensky, so we get updates a couple times a day from the president. And it's actually kind of fun because you get a text message and I look and I'm like, oh, it's Zelensky, I gotta take this, excuse me.
But there's also a volunteer Ukraine site on Facebook and Instagram, and they give a lot of information
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
coming to Ukraine for the first time, and if you different volunteering options.
Right, and
different
people will
ways
ask
to-
questions and the community comes together to answer, like, I'm having problems finding this, and they'll say, oh, it's
Or I
here.
need to find
what
a
have
bank, or I need to find,
A
which
dentist.
cell phone service works best. But there's great places to reach out in communities, so you're not so alone the
Mhm.
first time you're here.
And if you were to look for an apartment to live, what would you do? Maybe
Well,
All roasty.
firstly for short-term rental, maybe, okay, and then like maybe long-term.
Exactly,
It's
so you
probably a
can
good
learn
idea.
to where you wanna be, which is what we're doing now. Now that we've learned the city, we can know better where you wanna be in this area, not over here, and we feel comfortable or safe in certain places, and.
Well, no, I think it has more to do just with convenience for us than safety necessarily. Like, this might be closer to where we've found we do more work than this place over here, which we also like. So then we can, weigh the pros and cons and decide, oh, it makes more sense to live here. But yeah, definitely give it a shot. Come over, burn off your 90 days that they give you for, without any visa requirements. You can just come as an American. You can come into Ukraine 90 days out of any 180-day period.
Exactly.
After which time you need to get in touch with Rusty's organization and they can help you navigate, longer
Getting
stay
the visa.
visas and residency permits.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this.
The other thing we were just gonna mention is that you can get really good, decent medical care here also. I've had
World class.
a couple of things, that I've needed to take care of and found great care, affordable, people that can speak English and help me understand and feel comfortable.
Modern
Good
facilities.
dentists, and so people shouldn't feel like they aren't gonna get good, healthcare here also.
And comparing to, for example, US prices, your home country.
Oh my
what
God,
would
you
be
can't
the-
afford healthcare
what
in
would
the
be-
US, it's impossible. Yeah, you just don't get it.
What would be the price difference or something like comparing like 10%, 50, like just
It's,
dental work,
it's
for
like
example? or-
maybe 10% of what it costs in the US.
Whoa.
It costs here. I mean, the saving, it is unbelievably inexpensive for world class, super modern healthcare.
I see.
It's like, it seems almost free. We can't even get insurance for what we get.
And every
for
doctor that we've seen has taken really good care, like above and beyond. Americans seem like they're just always in a rush and they don't, like you're just a number. And here it seems like they really wanna know, how they can help you. And they seem very educated and focused, and it's refreshing.
And I think it's not only in the medical, it's in more professions here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We want to help.
Right, they
Yes.
take it
First,
seriously and.
first we probably look a bit serious, but then we try to.
Well, I think that's true of Ukrainians. Is at first you think Ukrainians they're kind of like mad at you, but it's not. It's just it's a cultural thing that they're lovely, warm people. It's just
Yeah.
they're not Americans.
Yeah. So maybe some more suggestion what we proceed to volunteer.
Well, I think just really because depending on exactly what you're doing, do your research beforehand, and you can't necessarily prepare for everything. So just show up and be ready for a new experience as well, because this is not the United States, and it's never going to be, and nobody wants it to be. It's a beautiful culture all on its own, welcoming and accessible. If there's specific things that you will require, look into it before you arrive and make it easier on yourself. But everything is available here that you would need, everything.
Yeah. And thank you for this. And Rocky and Emmy also do Durham humanitarian organization, so they collect donation for different people, for dog shelters. You told us.
Yeah,
and
for
what else?
animal shelters, for
Okay.
internally displaced people,
Okay.
for our defenders, and we also work with a lot of medics. So we get
Combat medics that are, or hospitals or
Mhm.
whatever.
And so we supply hard to find medical gear,
Mhm.
predominantly for severe trauma that we get in the United States, and we bring it over and give it to
Mhm.
the people who need it here in Ukraine.
So as far as I know, you are Durham humanitarian is just both of you, yes. But
Mhm.
instead of the big organizations that has vast resources and vast donation, you focus on small items and you
Very
deliver them.
specific, again,
you
it's
deliver them.
tailored to these people or this person or this area needs these specific things.
Mhm.
We have it or we can get it, and that's where it goes.
Yeah, and we
'Cause we
we
can't
get
just-
it there. We don't just like
Mhm.
write a check and send it in the mail. We hand things to people who need them.
And sometimes it's through Nova Posta if it's going to the front lines and they can get to a Nova Posta.
Mhm.
And then they usually send videos or
we-
pictures that it got there.
Last weekend, I went to Kramatorsk to deliver
Hand deliver.
aid, though, to
Mhm.
our defenders, and it was an honor.
Mhm. Okay, so I think I will kindly ask you to send your donation information, and then
Please.
like we put it to the under this video, so. You
And
can have
anybody
it.
looking to come to Lviv, we're happy to give advice and answer questions.
Yes, okay. So under this video, monitor the questions. Maybe there will be some, and yes, yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Rusty.
Thank you, Rusty.